Football is a violent game, played by gladiators on a frozen tundra. Welcome to the Red Zone Challenge Expert Picks, brought to you by Firestone Walker Brewing Company, featuring so-called experts Jeff Kingman.
For the second week in a row, you're asking the question, should I really watch this Thursday night game?
Jeremy West.
I have never picked against the Seahawks. You did once and it bit you in the ass.
And Allie, the full-time Firestone Walker beer guy. Part-time degenerate gambler.
This is one of those ones I'm like, do I really need to watch football on Thursday night, or should I stay good on my wife's list here?
Who will experience 80 ounces in hell? Find out with this week's picks in the Red Zone Challenge, presented by Firestone Walker Brewing Company in Paso Robles. Oh, man! Give me a drink!
Wow. Oh, my God. Ollie, sorry. You're not a girl.
Good morning, gentlemen.
This
Good morning.
beer is so ridiculous, and I just looked down. It's so smooth, and it's almost 14% alcohol. It's 13.6 alcohol by volume. We are talking about the beer that you can pick up on Black Friday at the brewery.
The vintage.
Dark and Stormy vintage. Oh, my Lord, this is so good.
It is tasty
It's
indeed.
got to be one of my favorite barrel-aged beers we've released so far. Just with the craziness of it all, the spice of the ginger, the great aroma of the lime. I want to try it out on some ice cubes and see how that goes, because it really mimics a Dark and Stormy.
I want to drink 6 of them with Jeff, and I want Jeff to drink 6 of them, and I want to see if we can still walk.
No, we wouldn't be able to, because it's like drinking wine.
Yeah,
essentially.
you literally,
Like,
if you drink 2 of these, you're going to be feeling no pain.
Because you feel warm after one sip, which I like about
so
that.
good.
And there's only 600 cases produced. Thank you for parting with 6 bottles of it for us, which is awesome.
I think you guys got more beer than most of the employees here.
That's awesome. And I was looking at the label, and it occurred to me that one of the many slogans that you guys adopt is beer before glory, and the loser of the Red Zone Challenge will basically be living up to that. No glory, only just beer. Only beer. Beer before glory, and the loser of the Red Zone Challenge.
I don't think it's going to be me. I'm just saying. I'm starting to feel pretty good about this.
Oh, man. What a week.
Before we get into these picks, I got to go over some of the things that might fly over the head of a novice beer drinker like myself when it comes to some of the information that is on the label of the rum barrel-aged ginger and lime beer called the Dark and Stormy from Firestone. OG, IBU, what's all that stuff?
So OG is essentially the original. So we measure everything in degrees Plato, which is like when you're looking at wort, you're looking at the level of sugar that's in that wort. So OG is the original gravity. So that means what is the starting amount of sugar in that beer for real simplistic terms. And FG is what's the final gravity. So how much sugar did that yeast consume in order to create alcohol and CO2? And then IBUs is actually the bitterness of the beer itself. So IBUs is a measurement for essentially bitterness units in a beer. So that's what you're seeing on that label.
So this really low. Really low.
Yeah, this is 26. What would be like a pretty bitter IPA? What would it be, up in the 80s or something, or 90s?
Yeah, anywhere from 60 to 80.
Okay.
Anything past that is pretty hard to get in a beer, just because it's, essentially the oils to get in there. Stuff flashes off at a certain point.
This is
to
the
80.
most amazing beer because, first drink, you taste the ginger and the lime, okay? That's the first thing you taste. And then after you've swallowed it, you get the barrel, and you get that rum taste.
That caramel.
I mean, this is like taking a vacation.
Vanilla caramel kind of flavor.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, it's weird because it's a British ale, okay? But also, like, if you ever been to the British islands in the Caribbean, and
I
you
have
drink
not.
and you drink
Either
these
have I.
rummy lime drinks. That's what it's got, that heaviness to
Really?
it that aids in the process. It's just so. Gosh, you guys
Ollie,
outdid yourselves.
my question is rum barrels. I mean, you hear about whiskey barrels all the time with beer, but I guess rum isn't one that really sticks out to me. Is this something kind of new that you guys tried, or have you been doing this one for a while?
No, actually, it's kind of a newer thing that we did this year. It's hard to get good barrels because I always say getting barrels from these brokers is like, I don't know, it's like going to the carnival. You don't know who you're working with because these carnies can get you. So we got some bad tequila barrels one time, but this time we got really good rum barrels. And we're actually, this next year's release for the Eldorado is all going to be in rum barrels because we are so pleased with how this turned out.
Yeah, you keep that guy's number. The guy
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
that provided the barrels for this, because that is, wow.
Are rum barrels charred like whiskey barrels, or do you know?
Yeah, they're essentially a very similar barrel in the whole design of the barrel. But yeah, these barrels actually had the bungs were in the head of the barrel, so we had to come up with a way to bung up the side of the barrel because we counter pressure everything when we pull the beer out of those barrels. So it was a little bit of a process to get this done, but overall it turned out really well.
Well, it's very good. Thank you for sharing with us.
So now, if you want to buy this, what's the protocol come when push comes to shove, literally, on Friday morning for Black Friday? Like, what time will the doors open so you can buy this and all that?
You know, just like the anniversary party, I don't have it in front of me.
That's okay. That's okay. But just give us an idea. What time are you guys opening up on Friday?
Let me look here.
All right,
Man, I have to find it on the internet.
Hey, we'll cover this at the end, okay? Let's get to the picks
got
then,
it.
all right?
Jeremy's got to go
You
get his
got
Costco
it.
pumpkin pie before they sell out.
Yeah, I got to get pecan and pumpkin pie at Costco. I know they're going to sell out. And that's a long story. But let's talk about success, shall we? Because I went 5-0 last week,
Oh, my
baby.
God.
That is some
Yeah, here we
serious
go.
success.
I had Montezuma's revenge. I had some parasite living in my intestines from Mexico, and I was still able to pull it out. Very proud of myself. Jeff, 2-3. Ollie, rough week for you, 1-4. This is where we sit now. I am at 28-22. Ollie in second at 23-27, and Jeff at 19-31. Wow.
Far from 500.
Let's
That's
get
where
to
I
the
am at.
picks.
Far from 500.
We got the 5 closest games of the week, according to the folks in Las Vegas, the MGM Grand Sportsbook. And we start off with the Oakland Raiders at home.
By the way, Vegas has this being the worst football weekend of the season.
Oh, is
by the
that
way.
right?
Yes.
At home, taking on the worthless Denver Broncos. What is the record of the Denver Broncos this year?
They've lost a lot in a row. They're going with what's his face, the third string quarterback this week. I forget his name.
They're going Paxton Lynch this week.
Paxton, yeah, they're going Paxton Lynch.
Just
Look at that.
Had nothing but just struggle after struggle this week.
Well, it has not been a cakewalk for Oakland either. I mean, let's not forget what happened in
3-7.
Mexico.
3-7. They've beat the Chargers. They beat Dallas, and they beat Oakland.
And they've lost 7 straight since.
A lot of
Beating
losses.
Oakland.
A
Since
lot of
beating
losses.
Oakland.
Oakland again, a 5-point favorite in this one. I guess I go first.
Yes, you do.
I guess I like your Raiders, Ollie, in this one this week. I'll take the favorite, and I'm going Oakland. Who do you like, Jeff?
Actually, Ollie's turn.
No. You got two.
You got 2 right.
Oh.
You got 2 right. Oh, Ollie's coming for you, baby. He's coming for you.
This is such a disadvantage.
What?
I
How do you
know.
not pick the Raiders? What do you know that no one else in the world knows?
I don't like either of these teams. I think these teams both get in each other's, they get in their own way. That's why I hate this game, because it becomes a coin flip, really. And the intangible is you don't know what you got in Paxton Lynch, but it can't be good if they haven't decided to go with him until now. But it'll be hard for the Oakland Raiders to coach against. So I will go with Denver breaking their streak.
What?
They can't lose 8 straight.
Wow.
Again, did you see the Oakland Raiders that showed up in Mexico last week?
You're not taking any notes out of my chapter, are you, buddy?
I mean, poor Giorgio Tavecchio. He's kicking it like 2 miles in the sky. He's like, I could kick a field goal from 80 yards here, guys, and they don't even give him the opportunity to do so because they can't get in scoring position. This is a struggling offense and defense for the Oakland Raiders. I don't care where they're playing. I'm going Denver Broncos.
Ollie, what do you think about this?
I like it. I like him to fall further behind. I'm taking Oakland. Paxton Lynch you're right, is a wild card. They got a new, offensive coordinator? 'Cause, they just fired him. Although the Raiders just fired their defensive coordinator. Both these teams, it's ugly. And poor Oakland, man, that was just an ass whooping. They're not going anywhere this year, but I don't think they're going to allow that to happen 2 weeks in a row here, so I'm taking the Oakland Raiders.
Speaking of ugly.
What, you at Tennessee? Tennessee and Indianapolis? Is this another ugly game? Well, you're right.
Oh, God.
Who's the favorite in this, guys? Who do you think?
I don't know. What's the deal?
Tennessee.
Tennessee is the favorite. They would be whether or not Jacoby Brissett was
I
playing.
forget you guys all see my notes. Tennessee is a 3.5-point favorite over the Colts. But this one is being played in Indy, all right? I have a theme this week. It's called hashtag all about the favorites, baby. I'm going with the Indianapolis. I'm going with the Tennessee Titans. Tennessee.
I'm going to go Tennessee, too. The Colts suck. They're just terrible.
Well,
they're just like... And
is Brisket hurt?
It's not... I don't know if Brissett is hurt. No, he does have a concussion, and he's in the protocol as of the time of this recording.
Is he going to play?
We don't know if he's going to play or not. But, Indiana, that conference is got to go to the Jaguars. They deserve to win that conference based on their defense alone. But Tennessee's probably going to end up winning the conference, and because they get to play Indianapolis and they get to play Houston twice, as do the Jaguars.
What do you think, Ollie?
Tennessee wins this one.
I'm also taking Tennessee. I think it might be a different game if Brissett plays. I really like that Brissett. I think he's a good quarterback. Unfortunately, he just doesn't have a lot around him. But if Brissett doesn't play, it's not even close. I think Tennessee has a nice blowout game after that Thursday night performance. Mariota, though, boy, you guys watched that Thursday night game?
Yeah,
they kind of had
he's not as advertised. Marcus Mariota. No,
and they had that sky cam going, so you could really see where he was throwing the ball. And I swear there was at least 3 or 4 throws where I'm like, you just threw it to the other team.
Yeah.
Are you not seeing something?
Are you colorblind? Is basically the question I was asking. Because you guys are baby blue and they are black and yellow.
Yeah.
There's no confusion there.
I'm taking Tennessee with you guys.
All right, here we go. Let's move on to the next one, shall we? Minnesota, a 3-point favorite over Detroit. This one is on Turkey Day. It's tomorrow at Ford Field. I'm surprised that this is a 3-point spread, but I still like Minnesota in this one because I'm all about the favorites.
I am too. I don't see this. I don't see this going the way of the Detroit Lions. I know that they are used to playing on Thanksgiving Day, and they always get a home game on Thanksgiving Day. But for Vegas to make them, or I guess Vegas is making Minnesota 3-point favorites, but it should be a wider margin. The way Minnesota's been playing as of late, they found their running situation. Remember, when Minnesota was beaten by Detroit earlier this season, that was the Dalvin Cook game when they were like, oh, crap, we got to get a running back, and all our running backs are kind of hobbled right now, and they ended up losing to that game. Now, Minnesota is clearly the second-best team in the NFC, playing against maybe the 8th or 9th best team in the NFC. I don't care where it's being played. Minnesota. Give me Minnesota all day long.
Yeah. 2 names, Keenum and Thielen. These 2 are unstoppable.
They really are.
I actually think this is going to be a closer game than people think. It seems like
So does
Detroit
Vegas.
seems... Yeah, Detroit seems to keep up with whatever the level of competition is going into that game. I'm also taking Minnesota because I think the difference of those 2 teams is the red zone.
I love you guys.
It seems like Detroit really has a hard time when they get into the red zone, punching it in. And after watching, that was the one game I actually watched the whole thing of the of the LA Minnesota game. And after watching Minnesota, man, they do look legit. I'm waiting for that Keenum switch to go, for him to go back to reality. But I am going to take Minnesota with you guys. I just have a hard time believing Detroit pulling it off.
I just, you know what? When you guys pick with me, that means that, I get to stay. I get my 5-point lead on you. I get my 11-point lead or 9-point lead on Jeff. I mean, that's just, you guys are great.
So we know Jeremy's going with the Rams then.
Because I'm all about the favorites, baby. The Rams are a 2.5-point favorite over the Saints, and this one is on the West Coast at the Coliseum, Jeff.
I guess Vegas is looking at if you look on a neutral site, who's a better team here? New Orleans Saints are a better team.
Yeah.
They have a better record, and they aren't missing weapons. There are weapons missing in Los Angeles outside of Robert Woods. Both their starting cornerbacks went down in that game, in that loss last week to Minnesota. They got rooks back there. This is the week when Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints abandon the run that has got them to where they are at.
Really?
And they put up Saints-type numbers on offense when it comes through, coming through the air on this one. New Orleans will win this game by more than 7 points. This is the lock of the week for me. I don't even understand why the Rams are favorite, but, I'm 19-31, and Vegas is probably doing a lot better than that. So.
I hate that we agree, because every time we agree, it's bad news. No, I like New Orleans. I actually think the Rams are pretty scrappy still. I think if that Minnesota game, Cooper Kupp doesn't drop that ball in the end zone, it might have been a little bit of a different outcome, because it seemed like that. Yeah, it seemed like after that it was all downhill. I really think New Orleans might make it to the Super Bowl this year. I think they're that good. They have such a balanced team this year. So I'm also going to take New Orleans. But yeah, man, it should be fun. Whatever this is, it should be a fun game.
All right, finally, it's Chargers Dallas. This is a pick 'em. So there is no favorite in this one, so I actually have to pick something. This is interesting because this one is being played in Dallas. Chargers coming off a huge win, especially defensively against the Buffalo Bills and that rookie quarterback and Tyrod who came in.
They played a preseason game with their starters, though, okay?
So they're on their way to Dallas, right, and they played like what was pretty much like a preseason game, right? And Ezekiel Elliott out, Alfred Morris in, and they get their left tackle back. Which is going to be huge. I'm rolling the dice on the tackle coming back. I like the home team in this one. I'm going with the Cowboys.
Dallas rights the ship, Jeremy says. On this one, I think the Chargers seem like they're clicking on all cylinders right now. Run game is figured out. Keenan Allen with that amazing performance last week. Phillip Rivers, Joey Bosa is going to crush Alfred Morris or whatever other running back you throw at him. And I think that this is a pick 'em only because of Dallas's lineage on Thanksgiving, and Vegas is a business, and they realize that people are going to throw money at the Dallas Cowboys. I think the Chargers win this one by 7 as well. I think this is a good weekend for the StubHub Los Angeles team, not the one that's gonna go to the playoffs, but the other one.
Ollie.
Well, you know me and the Chargers. Every time it's the kiss of death here, so I'm going to go ahead and give the Chargers the kiss of death. So I'm taking the Chargers. So
why are you clapping? You're not going to get any closer to him if he keeps picking your pitch. The only thing that can happen is I can keep pulling away. Well, wait, where did Jeremy go? Where is he? Oh, he's way up there around the corner. Hey, guys, come on, let's go.
We both could eventually catch up. Hey, I got that Denver game on you guys, and I am telling you right now, the Denver Broncos will beat the Oakland Raiders this week.
All right, boss.
They will.
What's the date on? What's the time? What's going on with Black Friday? Yeah. You've had 20 minutes. Did you get it?
I can't find it anywhere on this damn website.
What's the phone number?
Well, here's what you do. You call 225-5911, extension 653. And you
There
ask
you go.
this guy right here. His name's Ali Razi. And
No, do not
you just
ask
call
me.
him all day until he figures it out.
Bleep that out, which is sort of a good.
What are you doing for Thanksgiving, Ollie?
It's my parents' 50th anniversary.
Oh, nice.
So for the first time in years, we're going to go on a cruise down to Mexico.
Oh,
Yeah.
Are you going to
Yeah.
Ensenada or are you going to the...
Yeah, we're going to Ensenada, so it's a little 3-day cruise.
Yeah. Little
Never
strip
been on
club?
a cruise before.
Oh, nice.
little strip club? It's his parents'
Yeah,
anniversary.
50th anniversary, little strip club, and some cheap meds. I gotcha.
I'll take my dad there. Exactly.
Well, be careful what you drink. Bottled water so you don't get the Mexico animal in your gut. Okay,
I just-
it's a real bitch.
There's something
No
about
slushies.
No slushies.
Yeah.
Be careful with the ice. Yeah, be careful with the
something
ice.
about FDA regulations that thrill me, and you figure that out walking the streets of Ensenada.
All right, Ollie. Have a
All right,
great
gentlemen.
weekend and a turkey
Hey, you
day.
guys-
We'll talk to you next week.
Yeah, you guys have a great Thanksgiving.
All right,
Talk to
you
you
bet.
soon.
Red Zone
All right,
Challenge. You can win yourself a trip to Las Vegas. Go to kzoz.com. It's brought to you by Firestone Walker.